All right, Archer, episode 59. We're talking about something that is simultaneously the most boring and the most powerful tool in an investor's kit, the mortgage.
Ah yes, the magical piece of paper that says you own a house you absolutely cannot afford. My favourite. But seriously, in Dubai, we're not just talking about buying a home, we're talking about leverage. We're talking about amplifying returns.
Exactly. We were picking the brain of Parag Kundalwal over at Consultaa. That's Consultaa. And the numbers for 2026 are, well, they're juicy. We're diving deep into leverage optimization for Dubai real estate.
Lay the hook on me. Give me the killer stat that makes people stop scrolling and actually listen.
Okay, get this. A 50% loan-to-value mortgage at a 4% interest rate on a property that's yielding 7% rent and appreciating 8% a year. That single move can deliver 2.3 times higher returns than if you just paid cash. Your money is literally working twice as hard.
Okay, you have my attention. So what's the secret sauce for 2026? What does the landscape even look like?
It's a buyer's market for borrowing. The UAE Central Bank cut the base rate in December 2025, so mortgage rates are trending down. We're looking at fixed rates between 3.75% and 4.25%. Variable rates are even a bit lower, maybe 3.5% to 4%.
That's a huge deal. A 0.25% drop doesn't sound like much, but on a multi-million dirham property over 25 years, that's a new car. Or at least a very, very nice watch.
It's significant. Now for the nitty-gritty. LTVs, or loan-to-value. If you're a UAE resident, you can get up to 85% financing. Non-residents are looking at a max of 75%. And the banks still cap your total monthly debt payments at 50% of your gross income. The good old debt burden ratio.
The DBR. The bane of anyone who enjoys a good brunch. So, just because the bank will give you 85% doesn't mean you should take 85%, right? What's the smart play here?
That's the core of the strategy. Let's break down LTV optimization. For a resident buying a place under 5 million dirhams, you can get 80% LTV, meaning you only need 20% down. It's maximum leverage, maximum amplification.
Sounds great. Where's the catch?
The catch is risk and higher monthly payments. For non-residents, the best you'll get is 75% LTV on a ready property under 5 million. If you're buying off-plan, it's more like 50 to 60%. The banks are just more cautious.
So the strategic sweet spot isn't just maxing out the loan.
Nope. The optimal zone, balancing risk and reward, seems to be a 50 to 60% LTV for residents and maybe 40 to 50% for non-residents. You're still getting massive leverage, but you keep a solid cash reserve, say 10 to 20% of your capital, for the next opportunity. You're not all in.
Okay, Professor, hit me with the math. Show me how a 50% mortgage makes my money do parkour.
Parkour! All right. Imagine a 2 million dirham apartment. You pay cash. It yields 7% rent and appreciates 8%. Your total annual return is 15%. Simple. 300,000 dirhams on your 2 million.
A respectable 15%. I'll take it.
Now, let's use the bank's money. You put down 1 million, a 50% LTV, and borrow the other million at 4% interest. Your rental income is still 140K based on the full property value. Your mortgage interest cost you 40K, so your net cash flow is 100K.
Okay, so I made 100K, but I only invested 1 million of my own cash. That's a 10% cash on cash return right there, just from rent.
Precisely. But don't forget appreciation. The property value still goes up by 8%, which is 160K on the full 2 million value. So your total return is that 100K in cash plus 160K in equity. 260K total gain on your 1 million investment. That's a 26% ROI.
Whoa, okay, so my 15% return just became 26%. That's a lot more. What if I got more aggressive? Say 70% LTV.
If you're a resident and push to 70% LTV, your down payment is only 600K. The math gets even wilder. Your total return is about 244K on that 600K investment. That's a 40.6% ROI, a 2.7x amplification over paying cash.
That feels like playing with fire. But what a beautiful fire it is. This brings up the classic dilemma. Fixed or variable rate? Lock it in or roll the dice?
For 2026, it's a tactical choice. Fixed rates at 3.75 to 4.25% give you certainty. You know your payment, you can budget, you sleep at night. It's for the risk-averse, the long-term holders.
And the variable rate cowboys?
They start a bit cheaper, maybe 3.5%. They're betting the central bank might cut rates again. It's a great move for a short-term hold, maybe a 2 or 3 year flip. The 2026 recommendation? For long-term holds, lock in a good fixed rate. For short-term, ride the variable wave.
Let's talk about that debt burden ratio again. 50%. How do you game that system?
You don't game it, you manage it. The smart move is to target a 35 to 40% DBR. This leaves you a buffer for future loans and makes you look like a golden goose to the bank. Before you even apply for a mortgage, consolidate your credit cards, pay off that personal loan. Don't buy a new Maserati until after the mortgage is approved.
Solid life advice right there. Postpone the Maserati. What about refinancing? Is that on the table?
Massively. Q1 and Q2 of 2026 are shaping up to be a prime refinancing window. If your current mortgage is even 0.5% higher than the new rates, you should be running the numbers. On a 2 million dirham mortgage, dropping from 5% to 4% saves you 20,000 dirhams a year.
But there are fees, right? The banks don't let you get away that easily.
Of course, you've got early settlement penalties, new registration fees, valuation fees. You have to do a break-even analysis. But generally, if the savings pay for the costs within 18 to 24 months, it's a no-brainer.
Okay, this all sounds amazing. But what's the worst-case scenario? How does this all blow up in your face?
Risk management. 3 things. 1. Interest rate risk. Stress test your numbers. Can you afford the payments if your variable rate jumps by 2%? 2. Cash flow risk. You need a buffer. Have 6 to 12 months of expenses saved for vacancies or surprise maintenance.
And the third?
Leverage risk itself. Don't go all in on one property with 80% financing. Keep your overall portfolio LTV below 70%. Maybe keep 1 or 2 smaller properties completely equity-owned. Diversify your risk.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the tactical game plan for an investor stepping into the ring in Q1 2026?
Get pre-approved early to lock in a rate. Shop around. Talk to Emirates NBD, HSBC, the big players, and negotiate. A salary transfer can often knock 0.25% off your rate. And focus on properties that support the strategy, high-yield communities like JVC or Business Bay, to ensure your rent more than covers the mortgage.
And remember, the golden visa threshold is 2 million dirhams in property value, not 2 million in cash paid. A mortgage can get you the property and the visa. It's the ultimate 2-for-1 deal.
So the main takeaway is this. Cash is safe, but it's lazy. Smart, controlled leverage is what separates casual investors from the serious wealth builders in Dubai. The 2026 market is handing you the tools.
Don't be lazy. Use the bank's money to make yourself richer. Got it. And maybe wait on the Maserati.
Definitely wait on the Maserati.